Hello, it's OverLordBou, and I'm back with my friend SAT Score. And today we are going to be talking about something that we've noticed has been getting worse and worse over time. It's something that a lot of people don't talk about, but we all know and dread thinking about. And it's the over-monetization of World of Ships. And it's how it's just making it where everything's a cash grab, and it's just ruining the fun in the game. Just making it where you have to whale or you're not gonna have fun. So, SAT Score, I know you've been playing this game longer than me, so you want to bring up a few good examples of what we're talking about?
In the beginning, Wargaming was more, it feels like Wargaming was more focused on the gameplay. Like, yes, there was a lot of problems with it, especially with World of Warships being so new. But at the same time, it feels like Wargaming was relatively generous. Longtime veterans will remember when every weekend was practically a double EXP weekend. Back when there was only a few premiums, like Sims actually was a mediocre premium. Atago was the only Japanese premium. And the ARP ships were actually available for free, with relatively minimal amount of grinding. But over the last couple of years, it just feels like Wargaming has been focusing more on just trying to get money versus trying to improve the game. And we see that with a couple of recent events. So the most recent one would probably be the Christmas crates. Remember with Wargaming, like Christmas crates have been going on for the last couple of years, and they've always been well received by the community. Unfortunately, the last one is when we found out. I guess not found out. The better way to put it is that we realized that the containers were not accurately described. Like they were rigged to give certain ships. Give priority to certain ships before you would start drawing like the bigger ships. So in this case, Makarov got memed on because everyone got a Makarov within their first few crates.
You get a Makarov. You get a Makarov. Literally, the Makarov and cheese meme was born, where you gotta spend $500 just to get the cheese, but you get the Makarov for only $5. Oh man, that Christmas container event was one of the worst I have ever experienced. I hated that event because I was looking forward to, because I really wanted to get the Musashi, and I was like, man, I'm gonna spend some money, but literally, I know friends who spent hundreds of dollars on the containers and didn't get anything, and it was just pure baloney. And they even got, and the fact is that it wasn't just the event, but literally they got sued for their wording in the event for being too, the wording was too, like, it was like too like gambly, like it wasn't truthful. Like it advertised you get something but you wouldn't, so they had to change it by law. Like they got sued.
Yep. Having an initial pool of 3 ships would have been okay, but the way Wargaming did it was they poorly advertised it, and it made it sound like you can get any ship. From your Christmas crates, without telling us like, hey, these few ships are on the short list, so you'll get them first before you get everything else. And a lot of people were not very happy with it. And if it was just a few times, then I think people would let Wargaming fly. But this is more of a reoccurring event. If we want to go to the most recent one, it would be the commander skills. I'll cover commander skills a little bit later. We'll go back to the Puerto Rico event. So Puerto Rico, for those who don't know, it was the first Darkyard ship Wargaming released, and it was a cluster F, just to put it lightly. Wargaming said you can get the Puerto Rico for free. And in reality, you technically could if you're willing to treat World of Warships as your second, third, and fourth job respectively.
I only know of 2 people that got the Puerto Rico for free, and they had to play the game, I believe, 12? No, over 12. They had to play the game almost 15 hours a day for the whole period to get it for free. And that was insane. It was almost 2 jobs worth of hours to get a ship that say, oh, well, you can buy this for $250 with a pack. So literally you had either put a mortgage down pretty much, or you just grinded your whole life away pretty much just for one ship. And another thing that made the event even worse is that the CCs that had access to the event and they knew about the ship, they were misinformed. They weren't told of the changes to the event. When they were first testing the event, the CCs were like, oh, this is really good. And they were promoting it to their communities, saying, okay, this is gonna be a really good event, it's gonna be really good. But at the last minute, they changed the event to be more money hungry. They changed the event to be harder, way harder. And they made it almost impossible to get it for free. So all the CCs were in making the game, make this event like, oh, it's really good, it's really reasonable to do this, but no, it was impossible. They made the event way harder than they advertised to the CCs at the time. And this was the huge outrage because all these CCs with hundreds of thousands of mini members, they were all being yelled at by their communities, like, why'd you lie to us? Why did you lie to us? When it was World of Warships' fault for changing on them at the last second, which was total baloney. And that's why it's known as the fiasco.
And as an insult, Puerto Rico was not even considered to be a good ship, too, at least at the time. And Puerto Rico to this day has still not been re-released for in any sort of way. So the PR fiasco was huge for Wargaming. They poorly advertised the event, badly misled the CC, so everyone was angry at them.
Yeah, I was back during that fiasco. I was just coming back to the game. I was playing for about 5 months. And as a regular player, I wasn't a CC then. I felt so betrayed. I was so angry at the fact that I was misinformed about it. Like, I felt betrayed. Like, they're like, oh, you can get it for this for free. No, unless you sold your life away. And I didn't have time for that. I had 2 jobs. I had my own stream. I didn't have the time to do that. I didn't have the time to invest in that event. I, in the end, got the Puerto Rico, but I spent 25 bucks. I did a lot of grinding, and I was able to do it where I only had to pay 25 bucks. I was very lucky. I was able to grind it enough and to get it only for 25 bucks. And I find the ship really fun. And if the event wasn't so bad, people would probably love the Puerto Rico. But the problem is that the event has such a sour taste in people's mouths from the past that the ship is still hated on to this day and is still known as the Puerto Rico. To this day, any Puerto Rico you see, most people in chat will say, "Oh, it's a Puerto Rico," because the event was such a fiasco. It was a disaster, and it was the first tier 10 that be bought or paid in the game. Even though World of Warships stated in the past, quote unquote, they would never sell a tier 10 premium. They would never.
Just a combination of poor advertising. Like, if you think about it, if you spent about $50 for the first 2 boosters, you could actually have a tier 10 ship for $50. If the Wargaming advertised it in that way, I think people would probably have a better reception. But instead, Wargaming basically told everyone, hey, you can have a tier 10 ship for free. Obviously, you have to invest in effort, but otherwise, it'll be relatively free, and you can get it through normally playing the game. But in reality, it's technically free if you're willing to sell your soul to Wargaming. And yeah. And then, of course, there's a tier 10 ship, which whales can pay $250 for it. So, yeah, it was not you could sometimes see Puerto Ricos with probably like 10 battles total, or even just 100 games total, and they're just driving around Puerto Ricos because they didn't want the ship, which doesn't make people very happy for some reason.
No. So I think. I'm sorry.
Let's see. There's also a third. There's also a third topic I want to cover, and it's really the inflation of the game's currency. So, the first free XP ship, the second one actually, was Missouri. Missouri was released at 750,000 free XP. But if you notice, the recent free XP ships have been coming out at 1 million and 2 million, respectively. And then there's the Commander Skill rework, in which the first 19 points cost 1.7 million free XP, Commander EXP, and then 19 to 221 costs an additional 1.2 million free XP. So if you wanted a 21 point captain right now, you're spending 40% of that Commander EXP on just the last 2 points, which is absolutely terrible scaling.
Exactly, it's insane just to think about that, man. You have to spend over. How many doubloons is it for a 19 point again? I think it's...
I don't remember the math on that one, nor do I want to do it right now.
As far as, if I remember correctly, it costs, for a 21 point captain, to convert the whole thing over to just Commander XP. It's around $100, which is ridiculous. That you have to spend $100 of the time that you spent grinding a captain. Did all that work to get to a 21 point captain, and if you want to get the free XP for that, you gotta pay $100 to get 100%. Or you can get 25% of your captain's XP for 7.28 million credits. Because the ratio to credits to XP is per one XP it's 10 credits. So for a 21 point captain, since 21 captains are 2.9 million, you get back 7.28 million. You can get that for 25%. That costs 7.28 million to get that 728,000 XP. And that's just insane. That's ridiculous. And to top it all off, they give us a brand new feature where, hey, one captain can go to 4 different classes. And I'm like, great, that's amazing. I can have a build each. But the problem is, no matter what, if those 4 ships are tech tree line, you have to pay either doubloons or Commander XP to transfer them over. And it costs 525 doubloons to do that. And that's about $2.50, $5.25, about $2. So they want you to pay $2 just to transfer your ship, your captain, amongst the ships that you have like the builds for, which is just unacceptable. $2 doesn't seem like a lot, but over time, it's a lot of money. And it's just those little nitpicky things, like the little things they're adding here and there. It's just making the game feel so over-monetized. And it's not, and they're not focusing on the balancing of the game. There's so much balancing issues that need to be addressed in the game. Like the fact that the Thunderer is Thunderer still hasn't been fixed. Deadeye
will never be fixed.
Yeah, it'll never be fixed because of the premium. The fact that they removed the small end and didn't change that, I still believe, like I love the small end, but that ship needs a nerf. The small end's DPM, its ability to throttle jerk with the boost is just insane.
And in fact, it is literally a hard counter to other destroyers. That if you have a small enough rank on your team that knows what he's doing, you're going to probably be carried by him. Or he's going to take the star.
Exactly, because you can make his radar 20 seconds, and that 20-second radar gives him plenty of time to farm out whatever deity he has within that radar. So is there any final topics you want to talk about?
I think we covered the general complaints about the over-monetization. Like, I understand Wargaming is still a company, and they still want to make money off the game, but at the same time, it feels like their main focus has shifted from creating a quality game to just making a profit. Kind of like how the bigger companies like EA works. It's like, yeah, we know you're just selling the same game over and over every year, but people are going to pay money because they can.
Exactly.
And it just feels like Wargaming is going down that path now. Just the good game I'd like to go back to is I might not be able to go back anymore.
Yeah, I see it, brother. Well,
not without paying money, of course.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta pay money. But yeah, thank you so much, Caesar, for coming out today, man. I really appreciate it, brother.
No problem. Unfortunately, it's one of the more depressing aspects about the game, but it feels like it's a good idea to still cover it.
Yeah, it's something that needs to be covered, exactly. But yeah, thank you so much again, brother. I'll see you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments down below, definitely leave them. Let's get a discussion going. I'll see you guys in the next video, so I'll talk to you all later.